Hello and welcome to Friday. It is almost the weekend and we might almost be on empty, but it is time to learn about imperial measures. What are they and why would I want to know anything about them? Well, what does imperial mean? It sounds a bit like empire, and basically the units of measurement which are imperial began in this country here. They are British. And we have exported them to some of the countries around the world, which we once took over. But not that many other countries do use the imperial system. And even in our country, we sometimes use a bit of this and a bit of that. So it is important for us to be able to convert between imperial measures and metric measures. So some imperial measures down here you might see. You might have heard of ounces, pounds, stone, inch, foot, yard, mile, acre, pint, gallon, etc. These are all originating in the UK. So firstly, a little recap on what we've been doing the last couple of days. Circle the most appropriate unit and do some conversions for me between millilitres, litres, centimetres, millimetres, metres. These are all metric measures on this page here. These are not imperial. We'll look more imperial in a second. Have a think, get your paper and pen out, write these down and unpause when you're ready to hear the answer. So length can be measured in millimetres. Mass can be measured in tons. Capacity can be measured in centilitres. Complete the conversions. 200 millilitres are the same as 0.2. To get from millilitres to litres, we are doing what conversion? We are dividing by 1,000. So again, from 20 millilitres to litres, we need to divide by 1,000 again. So that's 0.02. How many centimetres how many millimetres make up a centimetre even? That's 10. So, to get from centimetres to millimetre, we're going to times by 10, 850. How many centimetres into a metre? That's 100. So we need to divide by 100. That's 0.85. Hopefully we're all happy with that. If you're not, you might want to go back and recap some of the lessons from earlier in this week. So, feet and inches. We often do still use this in this country. I'm about 5'6" for reference, and if I say 5'6", the 5 is for feet and the 6 is for inches. So if you ever hear someone say, oh, I'm 6'1", or 5'2", or 4'9", we're normally talking about feet and inches rather than centimetres. So, what are they exactly? Well, 12 inches makes up 1 foot. In the metric system, what's lovely about the metric system, it's really easy. Things go up in tens, hundreds and thousands. So 10 millimetres makes up a centimetre, 100 centimetres make up a metre, etc, etc. Tens, hundreds, thousands. In the imperial, it's a bit odd. It's not always a round number, and it's not always the same number. We just need to learn that 12 inches is the same as a foot. That's just something you need to remember. Probably write it down now on a bit of paper because you will need that later. 12 inches, 1 foot. 12 inches, 1 foot. 12 inches, 1 foot. Try and remember that. And an inch, we've got this squiggly line here, 2.5. What does that mean again? It means is approximately 2.5 centimetres. It's not exactly, but it's about 2.5 centimetres. So is an inch bigger or is a centimetre bigger? Have a think. An inch is bigger because it's the same as 2.5 centimetres. If you've got a ruler at home, it might be good to compare. Maybe a 15 centimetre ruler or a 30 centimetre ruler. Look how many inches are on there. Okay, oh, he's standing on something now. What do you think we're going to be talking about? Talking about weight. Does anybody know the imperial measurement for weight we might use? Pounds and ounces, and also stone. So 16 ounces makes up 1 pound. Not the same number, so 12 inches, 1 foot, 16 ounces, 1 pound. Just something you got to remember. Say again, 16 ounces, 1 pound. Not a pound as in the Great British Pound, the money. A pound as in a weight. And 14 pounds is 1 stone. Got a lot of even numbers here, but you just got to remember 16 ounces, 1 pound. 14 pounds make up 1 stone. I'd write all of those out. Ooh, he's holding some juice. We're going to be thinking about pints. And 8 pints make up 1 gallon. Just to throw some more numbers into the mix. We can't use tens, hundreds, thousands. That would be far too easy for this country. So they're all different. 12 inches, 1 foot. 16 ounces, 1 pound. 14 pounds are 1 stone. 8 pints are 1 gallon. Have a go at questions 1 to 2 on the worksheet. Might want to pause it on this page if you haven't got your notes out to help you, and then listen on to the rest of the lesson. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at questions 1 and 2 now. If not, off you go and do that first, please. Come back and do this. So, remembering that 1 foot is worth 12 inches, help me fill in this table and pause when you're ready to hear the answers. So how am I going to figure out what these boxes are? Well, if I've got 1 here and 12, if 1 foot's worth 12 inches, how am I going to answer that? So, to get from 12 to 36, I have multiplied by 3. So I've got to do the same on this side. So I'm going to multiply 1 foot by 3, which will leave me with 3 feet. What you can do is also, if you know what it is in inches, you divide it by 12 and that will give you the number of feet. Or if you know how many feet you've got, you multiply it by 12 because that's how many inches you'll have. So 5 times 12 is, or you just know, multiply both sides by 5. Whatever method works for you, it's 60. Can you work out the next one? So you can do 1 times 10, or you can multiply this number by 12. Or you can multiply that one by 2. So many methods. 120, 10 feet, 120 inches. How many feet is going to be 144? Well, how many times does 12 go into 144? Have a think about that. Because 1 needs to go into this number the same amount of times. It goes in 12 times. So to get from 1 to 16, I've multiplied by 16. So I'm going to have to multiply 12 also by 16, which is 192. Okay. My friend here is 5 feet and 8 inches. 5 foot 8, a little bit taller than Miss Beeston. 1 foot is worth 12 inches, remember? So how tall is Mr. Jones in inches? What am I going to do? It's 5 foot 8 inches. 5 foot 8. How tall is he in inches? Just in inches. What do you need to do? And pause when you're ready to hear the solution. So what you need to do is think about, well, 5 foot. A foot is 12 inches, so you need to multiply 5 by 12. And then you need to add on the 8. So we're going to work that out. So the 5 feet is 60 inches. So we're multiplying that by 12 by 5. And 60 inches and 8 inches is 68 inches. Now if I wanted to know how tall he is in centimetres, I know that 1 inch is roughly, approximately 2.5 centimetres. How would I do that? Well, I need to multiply 68 by 2.5 to give myself an approximate height answer to how tall he is in centimetres. Have a go at that, please, and unpause when you're ready to hear the answer. So, 68 multiplied by 2.5, 170 centimetres. Now have a go at questions 3 to 5 on the worksheet. Now it's a bit tricky. There's a lot of numbers to remember. You might want to go back and pause on any relevant information you need. The imperial system is really tricky to get your head around. The younger generation don't use it so much as the older generation, but even now there's still a bit of this and a bit of that. We need to be able to work with both measures. Right, continuing on. Okay, now we're going to think about pounds and ounces. Remember, 1 pound is 16 ounces. Have a go at filling that in, and pause when you're ready to hear the solutions. Thinking about this number here to get here, you multiply by 16. To get this side to that side, you can divide by 16. And you can use factor pairs if you like. 16 is quite tricky to divide by if you're not confident with your long division. So 16 goes into 85 times. So 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 9, so I've multiplied that by 9. I need to multiply 16 by 9, that's 144. 1 times 14, so I need to do 16 times 14. If you haven't done it already, give it a go. Remember, if you're multiplying two two-digit numbers together on the second lot, when you're multiplying by the 10, you need to bang in that 0, 224, and that's 20, because 16 goes into 320 20 times. Remember, 16 goes into 32 twice, so it will go into 320 20 times. Okay, now 14 pounds is a stone. Getting complicated here. A school buys 25 gallons of water as it's expected to be a hot day for sports day. Key stage 1 have 2/5 of the water and key stage 2 have the rest. Well, what is the rest? That'll be 3/5. How many pints of water does key stage 2 have? Oh my lord, it's getting complicated, but let's just try and do this step by step. Have a go by yourself if you can, and if you're stuck, listen on. Okay, hopefully you're listening on because you've given it a go, you've thought about your steps. Right, so key stage 1 have 2/5, key stage 2 have 3/5. We need to think about splitting that up into 2/5 and 3/5. So 3/5 of 25. Well, we're thinking of fractions. What do we do here? You divide by the denominator and then multiply by the numerator. That's 15. So key stage 2 have 15 gallons, but it doesn't ask how many gallons, it asks how many pints. Uh-oh, remember 1 gallon is 8 pints. What am I going to do now? I have to multiply that by 8. 15 times 8 is 120 pints. That's a lot of water for thirsty children. Right, have a go at the rest of the questions on the worksheet. Make sure you are following it step by step and that you are carefully looking at how many pints are in a gallon or ounces in a pound, and that you've got your conversions written down to help you. Good luck. Any questions, write them on a blog post. And have a good weekend. Bye.